Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that let's talk about sex. No, I missed like the lyrics, but like that's not the point.
It's not the point.
Sho Genge, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Gugulethu Nyansumba. You to some, and this is Uncomfortable Growth. To my returning subscribers, to the Genge, I hope that you guys are well, and to those that are passing by, hopefully you guys like what you see and you join the Genge, because we're on the road to 60,000.
Like a thousand. We say it in our house all the time.
Really?
You're an influencer.
Really? I feel like Orisa's lying to me.
No, like Katie's always like fuck a thousand. And then I was like fuck a thousand. And my dad like fuck, you know?
And then you also come out like
you know.
Period. Guys, today I have a very good friend of mine on the couch. This is Orisa. You guys have seen her in some of my vlogs and stuff.
Hi guys. To the fans. Making my YouTube debut. I'm Orisa.
She's Orisa. And if
I'm just Orisa, like.
Period.
What's up?
What's up? What's good?
What's good? What's good?
I'm sure you guys have seen the title of this video. We will be speaking about some sex. We are nervous for this video, but I did think it was one that had to be done, especially via the talking points that I was given on Instagram. Yeah, some stuff is very worrying, and yeah, Orisa and I are no experts at all, not in the slightest, but we have learned some things. So we thought, you know, maybe it's time to share.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of drawing on our own experiences.
Yeah.
So not experts in the slightest.
In the slightest.
But yeah, I think it's important to help everyone, you know, to get on the same page.
Yes. So we're gonna kick this video off with talking about some consent. Yeah,
that's a big one.
It's a big one, yeah.
It's a major one.
And it seems like people are so struggling with the concept of consent, and that's very worrying. If you are engaging in sexual activities or sex itself, do not do so unless you understand what things like consent are. I feel like that is the bare minimum, that is the stepping stone. Yeah, you will find yourself in a lot of trouble.
It's just a bit shocking that like this is still
Brother, we're still having this conversation till this day.
Like, have you guys not been on social media? Like, do you not get the messages that we are
giving? That we keep giving. That we keep
all day, every day. Girls are posting this, consent.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
If you don't know what consent is allowing for someone to do something. Describe it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, permission.
Yeah, consent is giving permission to someone if you are doing any sexual like activity act. So if someone says no, that is no. There is no consent. That's where it ends. Okay? Don't try convince. We're gonna come to that. Coercion is when someone says no and you try convince them to have sex. Women do not need convincing.
That shit is so manipulating.
It is.
Oh, this way.
Yes. Oh, go off, sis.
So manipulating.
Yes.
Gaslighting.
Yes.
Disgusting. But it's important to recognize that.
Of course.
To pick up on that shit, because I think gaslighting can be very subtle. So.
And sometimes you're unnecessarily sure.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into examples. But so basically, consent and coercion are two very big things that I wanted to start this video off with. I have a video on my channel about consent that I released like in my starting few days, and we spoke about fries. Okay, F-R-I-E-S.
Tell them what it means. Tell them what fries mean.
Okay, F stands for freely given. Freely, I don't need no convincing. I'm doing so because I want to say yes. Willing
from
myself, my soul, bruh. R is reversible. So if we are doing anything, any sexual activity of any sort,
I don't care how far.
I don't care how far we are.
If we're deep in the
situation.
Stop it. If I say no,
it's a no. Stop. Yes. At any point it's reversible. So please. It is informed. Okay. And then it is enthusiastic. All right. Because if I want to have sex with you, yes, I'm dying for it.
Don't be scared. Yes.
No, yes, you will know. Also, I think that sometimes guys use this example of like, as women we play hard to get, and that like we need.
That's not it actually.
When a woman wants you, you know.
You'll know.
You will definitely know.
We're drawn to what we want. Like, and read body language. Like, body language is a big thing.
I always say
expression's a big
before,
thing. Like sometimes it's very, very difficult to verbalize things. I think in the moment.
yeah, in the moment for sure.
So,
but before someone says no, I feel like their body has already shown you that they don't like what you're
body,
doing.
face, everything.
So
posture will change.
Let's not do that. And then it's specific. So like, I may have given you consent to kissing, but I don't want to do anything after that.
Yeah.
I may have given consent to some what? I may have given some consent to oral, and then I'm like, that's a wrap from me. I have a good time.
It can end
It's been
there.
a good show. I'm going. So yeah, guys, just understand consent. It's irritating that we're still speaking about this, and I cannot.
Very.
The next point, or something that came up quite a bit, was the right age to lose your virginity.
Ooh.
This doesn't necessarily exist.
It doesn't exist at all. I don't
yeah.
think there's ever a right time. Everyone's different.
Everyone is very different.
I felt like I was a late bloomer in my friendship group because everyone was doing the things.
Oh,
sharing their
experience.
I did feel like a late bloomer because I was in university already. And it's almost like I wanted it so badly because I was subconsciously putting pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because of my friends' experiences. Not they were like, you gotta have sex like right now.
Like right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Like that's not the case. They're a good bunch. What do you think?
Yeah, there definitely is never a right age. It's a very personal choice. It is a personal experience. Just because you may have been ready like later on in life doesn't mean it may take someone that long. If you're ready now doesn't mean someone else is ready now. So yeah, it's completely up to you. It's your journey. It's if you feel comfortable, it's if you want to do it with that person. There are many
100%.
things that like go into you deciding.
So
many factors.
Consider.
And again, those factors are personal. We can't tell you what you value and what it should be like for you. You have an idea and maybe you want to fulfill that, and like, yeah, I think it's just that it really is solely up to you. And we shouldn't shame anyone who is still a virgin.
And there's also this notion that like you must be in love with this person. It must be like your first love, the first time.
Yeah.
You know, must be.
I think,
or like, oh, it's gonna be horrible. I feel like there's a
there's no like in between.
Or it's like someone you must love and like
And I felt indifferent about my first time. Like, I didn't love, I didn't hate, I was there. People also spoke about the pressure that they feel to lose their virginities. Don't do that, because sex is about being enjoyed and you enjoying your time as well as the other person you're engaging with. So if you feel like you're not ready to do that, don't do it. I don't understand. And
the rush is not worth it. Like, don't force that thing.
Literally.
Don't force it. Like, let it happen.
Yeah.
When you're ready, you'll feel ready. You'll know.
Yeah. Is it uncool to be a virgin and want to wait? It's not uncool to do anything that is in your best interest or that is for you. Also, I can't imagine, like, are people cool for popping pussy? Sorry. Does that make you cool all of a sudden?
I think that it always flips to slut shaming. Like, as girls, we can't win. It's slut shaming or oh, you're a virgin.
How whack. No, if you're a virgin, do your thing. There's nothing uncool about not wanting to do it. You may have whatever your reasons are, actually. You don't have to explain them. You don't have to overcompensate in relationships because you're now a virgin and don't want to pop no pussy. We're gonna get there. But yeah, like, whatever's best for you guys, do your thing. How people slut shame for losing your V card early, but also being called a late bloomer when losing your V card later on in life. We can never win.
See, that's the thing.
We can never win.
They try to box girls all the time.
All the time, bro.
I just want to put you in a little.
If you're a late bloomer, it's like, why aren't you interested? Why don't you want to have sex?
What is a late bloomer even?
Yeah, what is a late bloomer? What's that? Can someone tell us? We have a deadline? We didn't know.
Who said that? Who said that?
So
come on.
Yeah, Orisa actually just said this just now. As women, we are in hell. We can literally never win. Hey, people also spoke about the shame associated with being a virgin, and I don't think there's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm just thinking how I felt.
Yeah.
When I knew like all of my peers were already at that level.
Yeah.
I don't know this. Yes, there is a little bit of shame in that you haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah.
Or people, I don't think, like for me, it always comes from me. Like I put a lot of pressure on myself to be like, I don't know, if I don't see myself, at a certain point, at a certain time.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, what you doing?
Girl, what's that about?
Yeah, like, so I don't think it's shame necessarily though.
Yeah, but I think maybe some people do experience.
I always feel embarrassed a bit. Yeah, maybe it is shame.
Maybe it is shame.
Yeah.
But it's not something to be ashamed
about.
of. Yeah. I also don't think that like having sex is something on your to-do list. Like it's not necessarily like an achievement.
Saturday nights.
Had sex. Yeah. Like I also don't think it changes that much. Like I don't know, maybe people put a lot of pressure on wanting to have sex. One, because their peers are doing it out now. Like people are talking about how nice it is. But
two, sex sounded so fun, guys.
Yeah, it's
imagine being in first year. Being in first year. And everyone's just doing the dirty. And I'm just like,
yeah, she was like, what's that about?
What's happening for me? Like, when's my time? When's my time coming? And maybe some of you feel like that.
It's okay to feel like that.
It's nothing to feel pressured about.
Yeah,
and I wish I knew that. Like, I wish I had an older sibling or someone to just be like,
dude, relax.
Take your time, baby.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not something you should feel pressed about.
If someone is heterosexual in that a woman is in a relationship with a man, I often say to young girls that, cool, I obviously know that there's a curiosity around sex, but there really is no shame in still being a virgin, because like as much as you can have sex whenever you're ready and no one should shame you for the age at which you decide to do it at, I've just realized that the younger you are, the less boys know what they're doing. I'm not saying that men know what they're doing now, but the chances of you having a good time in the young ages are close to none, close to zero. So if you're wanting to be a virgin, you're not missing out on much.
You're really not. You're winning.
You're winning.
No, okay, well,
okay, not
we can't say.
Yeah, you're not winning, but
you're okay. Like we promise, you're okay. You're okay.
The effects after losing your virginity. I felt dirty. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed. I was sick. I couldn't believe myself. I didn't know. I don't know if I felt that because that's genuinely what I felt, or if I felt that because I thought I would be judged by others.
I think it's that it's also what a lot of men or like just in society in general like put on women. Like, oh, you dirty for doing that.
Yeah, like,
but at the same time, that's what you want. Like, make it make sense.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, so it's a confusing feeling. I get it.
So yeah, that's how I felt, and I cried. Oh, I cried. And then I just realized, like a few weeks later, I was like, I haven't changed as a person. Like I'm still Google to life is still moving on, so I'm not gonna make myself feel bad for doing something that I also thought I wanted to do at the time. Like that's okay. And
I think a lot of that also draws on like traditional kind of beliefs.
Yes.
That you must be pure. And you must be, you know, this wholesome woman, like untouched,
dainty,
unscathed, like
oh, just waiting for Prince Charming.
How unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
I'm a mess, man. Come on.
So yeah, that's what. How did you feel? What were the effects? I didn't have much
effects. I was so happy. Whew.
Oh, you were relieved. Yo, man.
I felt accomplished.
She was definitely, you were happy.
I was really happy. I called all of you and
she couldn't stop telling us a story.
Wow.
Being self-conscious about your body dysmorphia. Ooh. So, I've said this before on my channel. I wish I waited to have sex just because I know what it's like in the capacity of love. I don't like, but like,
not I don't like.
But like, when I've had sex outside of that, it just wasn't as enjoyable for me. And most importantly, I need to feel comfortable and to be a safe space.
Yeah.
And that normally only comes about when you've been somewhat seeing someone or speaking to them or continuously engaging in sex.
I didn't know about safe spaces, to like hold space and like feel completely yourself or like comfortable in that space. Like and that's kind of scary. Like I've always been in like intimate situations where that wasn't the case, but you think it's normal. Like you just kind of
assume that like that's how it's supposed to be.
You know, someone follows and you lead, and it's like you have no idea what's going on. Like this is not what you want. You're uncomfortable. You don't maybe like how you look or your body or whatever, and it's like shit moves fast.
Yeah, very quickly.
And it's like, I always wish I knew more about a safe space and about being comfortable. Like 100%.
Definitely.
Before engaging in any of that.
Yeah, and I think that's actually what I was about to say. Like for me, I enjoyed in that capacity just because I enjoy myself more. I'm not worried. Like I'm not thinking as much about my appearance just because I'm comfortable. But I wish I only started having sex when I loved myself and loved my body. And the reasons I was so self-conscious was because like I didn't think that I was beautiful. Oh, that's so sad. I didn't think that I looked good. So I was, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, she doesn't get a lot of those hugs. Hey,
yeah. Woo, Orisa.
That was deep.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't think that I looked beautiful. I didn't like how I looked, and so I projected that onto my partners. And just by not liking what you look like, you're not keen to do certain positions. You're not keen to do much, really.
Yeah.
You're not keen to do much. Just trying to keep it cute.
Just like the stuff.
Trying to, you know, and once I got over that, I then started to enjoy sex more, because now it's like I love my body and I'm confident in that, so we're gonna rock and have a good time. Like, sex is about enjoying it, and I think that's something I want to get in this video. It's also about your pleasure.
Yes.
Like, it's very important.
1,000%. You gotta feel good.
You gotta feel good. Like, it's sex is not some sort of reward to men, or like it's
and
not.
that's the narrative.
Yes.
So often.
No. Like, you have agency over your body. You're a woman with needs. Also, what I don't like is this
100%.
notion of men. Like, growing up, people would always say that like men are sexual beings, right? And I don't like that, because it makes it sound as if women are sexual beings. We are sexual beings, and I think that's why men think that they need to be coercive and convince us to have sex, because it doesn't come naturally to us.
They already
because
assume.
That's them. Yeah, they assume that. So now it's like, oh, because Orisa isn't a sexual being, I must try get her in the mood.
Relax,
No, Orisa can get horny or aroused.
Really can.
On her own, and then choose to express that and share that. She doesn't need to be convinced. She doesn't need to sometimes even be asked. Like, it will just come naturally to her. So as much as men are sexual beings, so are women. Okay? All right.
1,000%. Why is that like differentiated? Like, why is that?
Yeah, why?
Are we distinguishing
Why?
between- like, maybe sex drives do differ.
Yeah, maybe.
But as a sexual being, as a sexual and a social being, majority of us are all
Also,
the
people
same in that sense.
spoke about body dysmorphia, and I mean, I feel like this is an ongoing struggle for most of us. So I don't know how to answer that question right now. But you look good in whatever weight it is, whatever your body looks like right now. You look good, and you deserve to have a good time, and you deserve to have sex. Like, you don't need to lose weight in order to have sex. You don't need to lose weight in order to wear certain things or go to certain places.
Thinness
you are
is
enough.
Emphasized
As you are.
way too much.
You can work towards your goal while still loving the person that you are. That's on period, child. Another thing people brought up was being okay with the scent of your vagina. So in high school, in high school, boys would make multiple jokes about like vaginas and harbors, vaginas and fish.
It's very fishy.
It's very, it's vaginas and the ocean. So naturally, you become insecure. Even if that isn't your situation, you become insecure.
Now you're questioning
because
your own states of,
this is what this is what they're likening the scent of vagina to, which is so problematic, and it is so damaging. First of all, a vagina is a private part, okay? It's not gonna smell like roses. Like, it ain't roses.
It's just not roses.
It's not
cupcakes. It's not cookies.
So if you're worried about the scent, maybe you shouldn't be indulging in the vagina.
Also, men know nothing.
They know nothing about
nothing
vaginas.
about a vagina.
No, they know nothing.
They really
know nothing. They
you
know
can't
nothing.
even find the
stuff, bruh. You can't do. You can't do the.
Why? Don't listen there.
So don't listen. Be okay with your scent. Okay, obviously I think that if you're picking up a different scent or a stronger scent or whatever it is, obviously get that checked out. But like, I don't want for people to think that their vaginas need to smell like roses, because that's just not what a vagina is gonna smell like.
Can I tell a story?
You may.
Guys, this one time, I was anticipating a sexual act this one night, and I was going to a house party. This is in like grade 11.
Okay.
Yeah, and so now I'm getting ready, you know. I'm just putting on my, you know,
trying to look cute, trying to keep it tight and right.
And that whole scent thing like popped into my head, and I was like, oh no, like, you know, I don't want to be embarrassed.
Yes,
of
course.
And I actually like,
what?
I took my perfume
and you sprayed.
I opened my legs and I sprayed, guys. I was in the fetal position for maybe half an hour, just holding my vagina because
it was burning.
It was burning.
It was
child.
burning. It was burning.
What an idiot! Like, who
Yeah.
does that? Who does that?
But friend, you did that because you didn't know better, and like there was this
But you see
pressure.
the tomfoolery that you engage in when you listen to all the shit. That,
Yeah. So be okay with your sense.
Yeah.
Like, I also think the older you get, the more, I don't know, the more time you spend with your vagina, the more you can like differentiate smells. Like, hey, this is my healthy vagina right now. Like, and that's okay. Like something is off, something is wrong.
Yeah.
So just
it's
be
important
one.
to be in tune with
your
your body.
It's very important.
And that's something that comes with time, people.
Yeah,
so.
it definitely does come with time. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, some of the questions we're about to get into now also were just very worrying to me, and this is why this video was so important to me. So this came up a lot. Being in a relationship where you and your partner don't have the same sex drive. Well, the next few questions came out quite a bit. I think that if you are not sexually satisfied and maybe your partner's stamina, libido is just not as high as yours, have the conversation first and foremost.
It's a hard conversation to have.
It's a very hard one, my friend, but
I've been there and hey man.
yeah, friend, but and we if you want to
I was quiet. No, I was quiet for months, guys. Like I'm just thinking, don't do that. It's easier said than done.
It's so much, no friend, literally, it's so much easier. I also have only learned to address
Round
these
4.
things now.
I'm dead, bruv. What more do you want from me?
Mate, it's time to sleep. But guys, I think if the relationship is something you really value and you want to continue, you must have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like just be like, dog, you're trying to pound every day. It's not working for me.
Let's watch a movie, man.
Let's chill this bond. Or like, hey, I'm not satisfied and I would like for us to do more. Like, are you okay with? And like, I don't know.
I want to try this. I want to try that.
Yes,
like,
and like
open
reach a
conversation.
middle ground.
But that's it. Like that's the kind of foundation you also need to lay, like in a relationship from the get-go. I think if you don't have open communication, you know,
It's
ways of addressing things. Yeah, it's. Oh, and to be silent in a relationship, guys, it's so
scary.
uncomfortable. And I always hold my farts.
It's damaging, bruh.
Holding my farts is the worst. But that's
I can't believe she said what she said and then she spoke about farts. Feeling obligated to give your partner sex. There is no such thing. Because you're in a relationship does not mean that you are now obliged to give someone sex.
Pop it every time they want.
Yeah.
Ready.
Literally, that doesn't mean anything. Like you are in a relationship with someone because you enjoy them and you want to spend time with them and you respect their boundaries. So someone who respects your boundaries will also hear your
big
no.
word, important word.
Yeah. So I got a few like submissions of people saying that I didn't want to have sex and my boyfriend then accused me of not loving him and asking for me to prove it. He is manipulating you. He is using sex as a weapon. That's not how it should go.
Gaslighting.
He's gaslighting you. Sex, and also like as a partner, if you care, like if I'm with Orisa and Orisa's like, no, bro, I can't now be like, well, bruh,
or beg or like plead, like please, babe, like what, like
no, and we're not exaggerating because
that means you don't love me.
Men can beg, eh? Men can beg
on their knees,
bruh. So yeah, you should never feel pressure to give your partner sex, and if you do feel pressure, I do think that's a bit of a red flag, and you should just, for the last time, be like, I told you that I'm not ready to have sex, and I shouldn't have to do so to prove anything to you. I am here, I am with you, I enjoy you, I am investing in us, in you, and that should be enough. And if that is not enough, then maybe go find what you're looking for elsewhere. Like maybe this ain't it. You should like. It's
not for us.
It's not for us. You must not do what you do not want to do.
Yeah.
How to tell your partner your sexual needs without disrespecting or offending your partner. Again, how is me telling you my sexual needs disrespecting you? Disrespecting? You think you hold it down so hard.
This is a lot. I think this happens more in heterosexual
relationships. Yeah.
And I think
for sure, I think it's also because, like, I don't know why, but in my experience, men seem to just think that they really know the vagina and really just know sex, and it's inherent. Like, because I'm a man, I know how to go about this thing, and it's like, for the most part, that's not true.
Yeah, I think there's a huge like duty for men to learn, like unlearn.
Unlearn and learn. Yes,
learn the right way.
Yes, learn the right way, which is through your partner and listening to your partner. Like also, when you're having sex with someone, I think it's also easy to see via their body language sometimes if they're enjoying something. Pick up things like that and maybe keep to that.
Yeah.
Also, if she brings up, or if anyone brings up something and says that they, you know, like don't like that and would like for things to be done in a different way, be open to that. That is your partner being open and honest and vulnerable with you, because it is an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, so things can get awkward, mighty awkward. And so
that's hard.
It's hard to confront that feeling, that awkward feeling. And
but if you tell someone and they feel disrespected, then they just don't care about your pleasure, and they don't care about you and your well-being, and just it's a no. Like, it's such a red flag.
That person's not for you, man.
So have the conversation, and how the conversation is dealt with will tell you a lot of what you need to know. Should I feel bad about popping it raw if not dating the guy? First of all, just because you're dating someone doesn't mean you have to have raw sex. Actually, whoa. Let's start there. Just because we're in a relationship does not mean we have to have raw sex. That is a decision you guys come to together after conversations, after tests have been done. Tests together. Like, you know, the tests have been done, if that's what you guys want to do. But dating someone doesn't now mean that the condom is off. That's ballsy. That's crazy. That's ballsy. That's brazy. That is bravey. Yo, bravey.
Bravey.
It's bravey.
And you know, there's been times where guys do that thing secretly, where you think they're wearing a condom.
Isn't that called seedlings?
Seedlings. There's a word for it.
There's a word for it.
That's so sketchy, man.
Yeah. So don't be like, no, honestly, we shouldn't be having raw sex. Like, we should be using protection. So
should be keywords.
Should no, because I know, like, especially in a relationship, maybe you may want to do that. But again, don't just take someone's word for it. It's very important that you guys take the necessary steps.
STIs, HIV, etc. don't have a look. They don't have a certain look.
They don't have a look. You can't assume that. You don't. Please. Yeah.
What detecting skills do you have?
What are you using?
Please. Like. So but to feel bad
for not popping it. No. So she's asking if she should feel bad for not having raw sex with the niggas that she's not dating.
Oh, for having raw sex.
I mean, you shouldn't feel. No, don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, don't feel bad. Use the protection. Definitely. Even don't feel bad. Use the protection even in a relationship if that's what y'all want to be doing, because that's where y'all at. If that's not what you're doing, that's not what you're doing. Is sex important in a relationship? Very subjective. I think it's a very personal thing, so that's 100%. Why you have to have this conversation in the beginning. Or if you are in a relationship that is sexual, you can be like, hey bruh, like what are your needs here?
Well,
like, what does this mean to you? Is sex us connecting?
Understand exactly what it means for you, what it means for that person.
Yes. And then you guys can take it from there. So sex, it's completely up to the person. Some people it's very important, some people it's not.
I know a lot of people that started off as hookups, kind of. And so sex was like a huge basis for their relationship, going forward. And even like, I know they had a child and everything, and even after that, like, that's always been a consistent thing. And not having it has impacted the relationship.
Yeah,
you know, because there are times where like
what?
I mean, I just had a child.
Yeah, but also But but because that's what they had known and built their relationship on,
had been such a big part. But I mean, that's later in life. But it all depends on how you set the tone, like from the get-go, what conversations you have. About it.
Body count and its impact, and how men glamorize tight vaginas. I don't know if we've said this enough in this video. Men know nothing about vaginas.
Zero.
That's the first. That's the most important point here. So men speak about tight vaginas, and if you've had lots of sex, you're loose. Like, they know nothing. And guys, I know I should be saying more, and I wish I could say more, but the answer is that they know nothing. They know nothing.
I believe nothing that comes out of their mouths anymore.
Also,
regarding sex.
I needed, like, growing up, body count was a very big thing. I feel like the men or the boys I was engaging with would always be like, what's your body count? Who have you slept with? And
Relax, sir.
And also it would be implied that like the higher your body count, obviously the more of like a hoe, a slut, or whatever the hell they wanted to call
whatever nasty word they want to attach that to.
Yeah, you are. And once I let go of caring about a body count, I started living for me. Like I feel like there was a point in my life where I wasn't doing anything because I was like, I'm gonna meet my husband and then he's gonna ask me what my body count is and I'm best be saying 3.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic. It's not realistic. So live for you. If you are in a if it's consensual.
I stopped counting.
If it's like if it's consensual and if you want to do what you need to do, it is safe, your life.
Having fun.
Exactly. It is your life. That's that on that, baby.
Yeah, we actually need to unpack that way more. Like, do what you want to do.
Like, do what you want to do. Don't think about what a nigga is gonna think. A nigga. Care about that dude. Who care about that? Okay, and then the rest of my questions were just like women complaining about men not knowing what to do. Are we shocked? No, we're not. Men not participating in foreplay.
Big problem. Big problem.
You kill me because you very,
very problematic.
Very problematic.
I think a lot of, actually I can't speak on behalf of every woman.
Yes.
But I almost need to ease into things, and I, especially if it's the first time, like the first time with a certain person.
Yes.
We don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you quite literally you would like to be eased into it, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's very normal. Also, if we ease into it and take it slow, we're both gonna have a better time.
1000%. Like, why are you so ready to pounce?
Like what?
Nigga, you gotta chill. Please.
Also, I saw someone on Twitter tweet. They were like, men use women's bodies for masturbation.
I'm not surprised. And
at first I was like, oh, that's so crazy. Like, that's such a big thing to say. But honestly, like, sometimes men don't care. There have been times where men are just more interested in getting the deed done, and so nothing about that, and not about your pleasure, not like, you know. So,
and they all big talk, you know. Before that, big talk. Stop that thing.
Niggas love to tell you that when I see you, I'm gonna then we're gonna,
and you're gonna
and then you get there and there's nothing, bruh. There's nothing.
Quiet. It's actually awkward.
It's awkward, man. It's awkward. So yeah, dude. Also, I think that this is something we should be vocal about. If you are engaging with someone and you can see that they're rushing and they're going too quick, you can say, "Slow down, partner. Slow down, because we are not there yet." And yeah, it's even irritating that you have to explain that, you know, like, and it's
with foreplay, like, I think it's a nice like learning opportunity, even though this reminds me of uni. I don't like that, but it's a nice learning opportunity where you can understand what each of you enjoy. Like, let's talk about it. Like, do you like that? Do you not like that?
Yes.
Like, now if you're just gonna, there's no talking time. There's no.
Things are too tight now. Like, it's just too tight. That's
very overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's very, very overwhelming. Like, oh, you can't take the D. You can't take it. Like,
no, I'm not having a good time because I'm not lubricated down there because you haven't done anything for me. No, you're just worried about ramming your genital into mine.
That shit's painful. Do you know that?
So yeah. Even also this notion of like,
it's upsetting me
when I see guys talk about like wet pussy and whatnot. I'm like, you know nothing about it. Like, you know nothing about it because
all you know is droughts and deserts. And foreplay has a big part to play.
It's huge.
In lubrication.
It's huge.
Massive.
It's huge. It's huge.
I can't emphasize how important it is. Like, I hope men watch this video because, guys, take your time.
Just take your time.
Take it easy. Talk to me. Like,
feel up on me. Like,
pull up on me.
Like, dude, I don't know. It's so weird to me that foreplay isn't a thing. It's like,
also, but it's so overlooked. Like,
also, do you not just want to give your partner pleasure? Like, I know that you can in the act of sex, but like, before that, like a little razzle dazzle, a little.
You don't want to see me happy? You don't want to see me pleasure?
Like, it's so
You just want to.
I think it has a lot to do with not acknowledging your partner's pleasure and not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And not making it a priority.
Again, another conversation that needs to happen.
Yes. My next point is men sucking at sex. It came up quite a bit. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, guys. That was very.
Sucking. Like,
they said they suck.
Men suck at sex.
They said they suck, which has been so validating. I mean, that was validating to me because sometimes you'll have these conversations with your friends, or just in like your own personal capacities, and men will often respond and be like, "Which guys are you hooking up with?" Oh, because that is not me. Who's that? Which guys are those? They're your friends.
Same circle.
That's the same. Like who's also speaking. My friend had something very different to say. Don't do that. Do not do that. Like, yeah, I don't know why they talk such a big game.
I don't think it's important to act like you know everything.
And it's okay to not know.
I don't know everything.
I don't know everything. And sometimes I think with each sexual experience, you get to learn. You try new things. You're like, oh, maybe I like that. Oh, I don't like that. You know? And that's okay. It's not about being the bother the guy who walks in.
I don't expect you, like, you're 24. I don't expect you to know everything.
Yeah, at the basics at the very least. And you guys don't know that either.
Not even basics.
Not even basics. Can you enjoy sex with no feelings?
Oh yeah.
I think that, again, this is a very personal thing. So,
sorry.
Actually, no,
It's
I think
subjective.
you can. No, I do think you can. I just don't as much.
Okay, so you have to have like some emotional connection.
I would like that.
To engage in a sexual act.
Activity. Yeah.
Me? I just need to
be in the mood.
Yeah,
yeah.
Literally, like
so
I just
yeah, you
connect
can.
with you on a cool level. We're laughing, we're drinking, I don't know, you know,
something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just a cool like.
Okay, soul ties.
She.
I feel like our views are very different here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I personally can't say that I feel as if I have a soul tie with anyone that I've had.
It's been a rough road.
I've engaged with.
But that's fine.
So I don't know if sex equals like soul ties. Oh no, I do think that I've had. Maybe I've had one soul tie, but that was not just purely because of the sex. It was also the nature of the relationship. So it was the fact that we were having.
That's what I'm saying. Also, the soul ties is supposed to last forever.
Yeah, like I said, like am I never gonna?
Because I've connected with someone really, really deeply.
Yeah.
Like that shit felt like love. I don't know what love is, but like.
Yeah.
It was sensational. Like it was. I don't even know how to describe it, but like we're no longer.
Yeah, but I think a soul tie is the fact that you can never let go of that person. Like you still think
so it's a forever
them.
thing.
It is a forever thing. Yeah, I don't know. I do think soul ties exist, but I think that like
also again in 2 years.
Don't think that they come about. Or in my personal experience, they haven't come about just with anyone and everyone. I do think like maybe soul ties come about when you do share a physical experience with someone and there is love there and like maybe you're connecting on a much deeper level, but then again it's like maybe I haven't had enough sex, like maybe I don't.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
So it's a very hard question for us to answer right now.
I think you'll know when it's
maybe if you're just
what do you call souls soulmate.
Yeah, soulmate. Okay.
What is there a difference between soulmate and soul ties?
Yeah, I think a soulmate is the person you're supposed to be with. Your soul tie is, so when you have sex with someone, you're like, you guys come together and your souls are forever tied. So even if they aren't your soulmate, like walking away from that becomes very hard.
Very hard, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's what we don't really know what to say on that.
So that's deep.
Sex and Christianity. I'm gonna answer this.
She can take the lead.
Again, I think it's a very personal decision. I've always, like, I believe in having a relationship with God and having your own personal relationship with God. So you need to see what it is you're comfortable doing in that relationship. I also think that it's just something very personal. No one can tell you whether it's the right thing. I mean, obviously I know that it is a sin, but everyone sins, and this is not me saying that like
you're a sinner
because we all sin, let's just all go have it. But the reality is that people sin in different ways, and if maybe you are comfortable enough in sinning in that manner.
Can I say something? Like when I used to be Catholic, guys, a deep Christian, and like sex in itself used to make me feel so guilty.
Just even thinking about
just a thought, just something sexual
yes.
crossing my mind.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I've had a really long journey with like religion and spirituality
and stuff.
And religion always made me feel so boxed, like I couldn't express myself fully
and
sexually.
I think most people have had your experience in that, like, I honestly think that the reason I am the Christian that I am, or the reason I believe in God in the manner in which I do today, is not so much because of church and religion, but because of the relationship that I have been able to build on my own and get to know him in my own way. And most people don't have that,
and
because most of the communities...
That's beautiful, man.
Thanks, friend. Most of other communities can be very judgmental, and just push people away rather than bringing them in. So I think it's a personal conversation. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could just be wanting to have sex. You could have found someone and you want to try that with someone because you have feelings for them. Whatever your reasons are.
But I think you've like hit the nail on the head. Like, in terms of building your own relationship.
Build your own relationship with God, and then
with whatever spiritual entity
that you believe in.
Yeah.
And then
I think making it your own and making that bond more personal and more like situated in who you are.
Yes.
Not just like who you want to be, who you're supposed to be. Like, for me, it's that's why spirituality has been like a long journey, man.
You don't need to feel
bad.
Guilt,
about
don't
sex.
feel. Don't feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Like,
okay, the last thing I want to talk about is celibacy. Okay, y'all ask me about this all the time, and I know I speak about it on and off. And I said that I'd only want to speak about it when I have a better idea. Not that I do right now, but the biggest thing I've learned with celibacy is that life is not about perfection, but rather progress. So I used to think that, like, if you say you're celibate and then you slip up, it used to be such a big thing to me, because it's like, I'm celibate and I still went out of my way and I did do something. But it's not about that. It's a journey. It's about placing certain boundaries in your life and testing those out and seeing how comfortable you are at different places. Let's say you start this journey and you do fumble, that's okay. But I think it's a process. It's like, okay, if I put myself in this situation, am I able to say no? Do I want to say no? Like, so that's what it's been about for me. It's about learning what I can and cannot handle, and which situations I want and do not want to put myself in. So that's what celibacy is.
That makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, dude, that's what my idea of celibacy was so warped in the beginning. Like, it was like,
you didn't know why or how or like what this meant.
Yes,
but you did it anyway.
Yeah,
I was also celibate for a really long time, but unintentionally. I don't know if that means
celibacy
that I ain't got no game, but but that's also what I learned. That's kind of what came out of it, which is really beautiful. Like, that's a cool thing to reflect on.
It's your own personal journey. You can decide how long you want to do it for. You can do it and also decide that maybe I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I think everything we discussed is so subjective.
Guys, and that's why, like, we can't tell you what to do, because it really is your life and you know yourself best and you know what you need. Obviously, it is kind of hard to discern certain things, like, am I ready for sex, am I not? But sometimes you're in a situation and you can physically feel that you're not wanting to do this, and that means you're not ready.
Intuition is key,
and that's okay. And maybe you thought you're ready, and that's why consent is reversible, because I can think that I want to do something with you, like, and then I realize, I don't want to do that, and then I take my consent back.
Like, why did you decide to become celibate, or what made you what got you to that point?
My relationship with sex is right now, my relationship with sex has changed over the years, and like how I view it has changed. And I think, and like just experiencing it and like kind of seeing the effects that it had on me, made me think that maybe I just don't want to share myself in that aspect with just
like
anyone.
That with anyone,
Just also because sex used to take from me more than it used to give. So I would sometimes try, not try, because bitch, I did. I would engage in sexual activities with people, but I would be, I don't know how else to say, I'd be sad. Like, I wouldn't feel.
And it shouldn't feel like that.
And it shouldn't feel like that. And that's when I realized that is a normal. And then I maybe wanted to, obviously I think that there was trauma also in that. Like, I hadn't dealt with certain things, and my trauma had resurfaced. So that's why I felt like that.
Trauma
so
is a big thing too.
Yeah.
One of those factors we were talking about.
Yeah.
Trauma is one of them.
I wanted to allow myself. It actually started off with wanting to allow myself to heal. And then I was like, no nigga deserves this pussy anyways.
Yeah, it's precious.
Also, with sexual trauma, I think the scary thing with sex is that sometimes you may, or any sort of sexual activity, is that you may think you're past something and that you've healed, and in that moment you realize that you haven't.
Yeah, it comes right back up, triggered.
And that's okay.
Very okay.
And that's why consent is reversible. Like, that's why people need to understand it. Like, even if I'm not triggered and I actually decide that I don't want to do this anymore, that is reason enough. No is a full sentence. It doesn't need a justification. I don't owe you an explanation.
Nobody.
Don't
explain yourself to nobody.
So thank you guys for watching, okay? We will be back.
If you got this far.
Soon.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Bye.